Welcome back to Getaway's American road trip,
Where are we going, buddy?
where we've packed 4 young Aussies into a giant RV and sent them to see the US from top to bottom. After taking in the sights of Chicago,
We're stacked it probably 2 or 3 times.
they survived the dodgy diner on Route 66,
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever bitten into.
visited the town of Santa Claus, Indiana,
His heart and soul was ripped out and it was 2 metres behind him.
and celebrated Independence Day in Louisville.
I think Americans are patriotic to a flaw.
As the RV continues its journey south, our guys decide to explore Kentucky's famous bourbon trail.
Kentucky is the home of bourbon, which is sort of the main reason we were heading that way.
We drove through down the bourbon trail and we saw all the big name bourbon companies like Jim Beam were there and Evan Hill.
We're on the bourbon trail! Woo! Driving system that we have is I think it's just, everyone takes their turn and then, Matt will go, James will go, Katie will go, I'll go, and sometimes if someone's tired or whatever, we'll just jump in. It's not really, no one's ever had to be forced to drive before.
Maker's Mark is more of a boutique kind of brand. They do it all hands-on, it's all handmade. That's their kind of craft, that's their signature.
So we got there and we met Rob and Bill. It's a family-owned business and they actually gave us a private tour, which was really exciting because they took us around the distillery.
Matt, good to meet you. Welcome to our little distillery that my mother and father started back in the early 1950s. I'm the 7th generation manager of a family distillery here, back through my father's line. Some say it's because we never learned how to do anything else.
Yeah, I look up to a lot of people that have made something for themselves, entrepreneurs or successful businessmen, and to get the tour from Bill Samuels, who owns this multi-million-dollar world, global company, it was an honour.
Come on out here, I'd like you to meet my son.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
This is my son, Rob.
Katie, Rob Samuels, good to see you. Hello. They were really cool. They showed us through the whole place and gave us an insight on how they distill their bourbon, and they, use all the elements of the land, like the limestone in the river that they use the water from, plays a massive part of how they brew their bourbon. And
So you can only use these once.
Bourbon by law, we're only permitted to use the barrel one time.
Maker's Mark are quite unique with how they seal their bottles. They dip it in, they get the bottle and they dip it in red wax.
If you want to slam dunk, go all the way to the bottom.
Well, Katie was called up first to dip the bottle, and Katie is usually, winner of the universe and does everything perfectly.
You can usually buy the short dips at the stores, but you're not going to get many slam dunks at the stores.
She went up there and I turned around to get my safety gear on, and by the time I looked back, there's just this red wax abomination sitting on the counter, and the entire bottle is just covered in red wax.
Pull your gloves on. Pull your gloves on. Step back.
Katie's mucked it up. I don't know what I did, but basically this is mine, which you definitely can't buy anywhere.
it's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
I felt better because I'm like, well, at least I didn't stuff it up this time, so that's one for me.
The early American whiskeys were harsh and bitter and abrasive. One noted distiller actually said the early American whiskeys blew your ears off.
Rob Samuels taught us how to taste test bourbon.
Place the rim of the glass just under your nose.
Will we be able to drive?
The designated driver part got a little bit misconstrued because Matt originally was supposed to drive from where we were to the next location.
I'll give you $100 if you drive.
Took one look at the bourbon and sort of might have smelt it or something, and he just lost his mind and started waving a $100 bill and was like, right, whoever takes this, they can drive. Easy $100.
I like my Maker's Mark, and we are on holiday, and there were plenty of other candidates for driving, and none of them like bourbon. What was I to do? Just drink them.
Thanks, Maddie. Easiest $100 ever. After we left Kentucky, we were heading to Nashville, which I was really excited about. Not really based on anything other than the fact that I've heard Nashville, swung around in country songs, and it sounded like a cool place to be.
I went into Nashville, Tennessee, but you wouldn't even come around to see me.
Our RV, which I've actually named Chad, is standing strong it's got so many dents and scratches. Matt Wilson is the world's worst backseat driver.
Change gears, Katie. Change gears.
He's had a lot of experience on driving bigger machines.
Just remember your mirrors stick out heaps too.
He does give helpful tips, I'll give him that.
You just cut off that motor. What? I'm joking. sorry. I shouldn't do
We're still really happy with it. We're not sick of it at all. It's definitely become home.
I don't know. Nervous. Nashville, it's the country music capital of the world. Everybody has gone from hillbilly to cowboys. There's that many cowboy hats.
I hear that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman live in Nashville at the moment, so apparently they're just seen on a daily basis just around town.
Yeah, we went out that night. We went out in Nashville, Tennessee, and we got into the spirit straight away. We all went out and bought belts and hats and a wig. Matt was wearing this mullet wig. No one knew that he was wearing this disgusting kind of stereotypical hillbilly wig. They all just took him in like one of their own. Everyone say Australia! Australia!
When you're walking up the streets, it's amazing how many buskers that you go past and everyone, trying to start their careers.
Like a bluebird, it is hard to move, lonely as a train.
The bars were packed. It was midweek and they were packed out. The streets were lined with neon lights. It was sort of like Vegas, and they all had live music, all country western music the whole way through.
What interests me the most in the bars that we went to is that the bands actually don't get paid. They play from about 3, 4, 5 hours, and they kind of between songs they'll come out with a tip jar.
Remember, every dollar you give us, we're gonna split it 6 ways.
And they'll collect money off everyone. And if you walk out, it's actually pretty rude to walk out. They'll say something to you. They'll go, "Hey, where are you going?" Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the music, it really inspired us. It was such a great night seeing all the performances there that we decided that we can make up our own song.
1, 2, 3, 4.
After the break, the guys get to work on their song. But will artistic differences cause a split in the group?
My part's done. It's just he's not satisfied with what I've created.
Then it's into the studio where artists like Elvis Presley, Dolly Parton and Roy Orbison have all recorded hits.
At first it seemed a good idea, but yeah, it's really not. So at 3 a.m. the other guys hit their final roll call.